like the best of both worlds, where I could get a snapshot or preview into what a travel nurse really goes through just here at home in my home state. This time, I'm really going to benefit from being a real travel nurse outside of my home state and benefiting from some of that tax-free money, okay? Uncle Sam, don't come for me. Don't come. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Nurse Channie, here on the Know It All Nurse channel. Did you know this was the Know It All Nurse channel? You probably didn't. So guess what? We don't know it all. But that's why we're here. So the purpose of this platform is to educate you about all things nursing, as well as we're going to talk about some lifestyle topics, things that are important to me and hopefully to you as well. I'm going to engage you in thoughtful conversation and empower you. So that's what this Know It All Nurse channel is all about, engagement with all 100 some of my viewers or subscribers. I'm super duper excited because I hit 100 subscribers, as I shared with you guys on my last video, and we did a giveaway, and I want to congratulate Tamika Parks for winning that giveaway. You're the winner. Yay! So Tamika, I have your contact information. Your goodies will be coming to you very, very soon. Thank you so much for participating in my giveaway. And we'll be doing that again as the channel continues to grow, as we begin to engage more people in our community and just empower you and educate you about women's health, nursing, and lifestyle topics, okay? So today, I want to talk to you guys, as you can see from the title of this video, what I learned during my first travel assignment. So I finished my first travel nurse gig last week. So I was at my first assignment from January of this year. If you guys remember, back in November, December, I made the decision to quit my job as a nurse case manager and pursue my dream of becoming a travel nurse. So I'm still so excited, so new in the travel nurse realm, but I thought that it was important for me to share some things that I have learned in my 6 months of being a travel nurse. And the reason I want to share these things is because when I started to pursue travel nursing, one of the platforms that I went to was right here on YouTube, where I did a lot of research, and it has really, really helped me to start this career path as a travel nurse. It made me more secure to hear stories from real people who are experiencing real things. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today. So I got some notes, and I just want to talk to you guys about 5 things that I learned as a travel nurse. So if you want to hear about my experience, stay tuned. All right, so the first thing I learned is the difference between having a local contract, which is what I did because I'm still in my home state, and a travel contract. So guess what? If you did not know, there is a difference. So the major difference in committing to a local contract versus a travel contract is it basically comes down to how you get paid. So for a local contract, like I elected to do for my first assignment, you get paid a flat hourly rate. That's it. So you don't get any of the housing stipends. You don't get any of the meal per diems. You don't get any of the perks that many people benefit from being a travel nurse. One of the big draws of being a travel nurse is that your housing stipend and your meal per diems are typically tax-free money. So that means, let's just throw a number out there. If your contract states that you're going to get paid $1,500 a week for meals and housing, that's all tax-free. You don't have to pay taxes on that money. The other part is your hours that you work, will be assigned to an hourly rate. Now, that rate is typically much lower than what a nurse would be accustomed to getting paid. But the trade off is that the majority of your weekly take home money is going to be tax free. That's an awesome benefit. Difference in what I did was a local contract that I just accepted a rate, which was pretty good, by the way. I accepted a rate, and that's what I was paid for the hours that I worked. And there's the difference. Now, I will say for me personally, doing this local contract at home worked out in my favor because I had different commitments to my family, to my son who just graduated from high school this week. So I had different commitments. And so it worked for me to have this local assignment. It was like the best of both worlds where I could get a snapshot or preview into what a travel nurse really goes through just here at home in my home state. And so I am now vetting different contracts to do for summer. So I'm looking forward to that. So this time I'm really going to benefit from being a real travel nurse outside of my home state and benefiting from some of that tax-free money, okay? Uncle Sam, don't come for me. Don't come for me. The second thing that I learned about being a travel nurse is patient care is patient care. Like, once you are comfortable enough in your skills as a nurse, which I would suggest that you at least be in whatever specialty area that you work in, I would suggest that you have at least, I'm going to go with the number 2 years. And I'm going to tell you why. The first year that you are a nurse, I feel like you're just navigating your way through the world of nursing. Learning how to take care of people, learning the assessments, learning medications, learning everything that you need to do on your job. I feel like somewhere for myself personally, and if any nurses are watching this, you can chime in and feel free to share your experience. I feel somewhere between years 2 and 3 is where I started to really feel comfortable, especially being in my specialty area of maternal child nursing. It definitely was somewhere around year 2 where I was like, okay, now I feel comfortable. I know that as a new nurse, when I was just 1 year into my specialty, I don't feel comfortable or confident that I would have been able to just hit the ground running. And when you are a travel nurse, you do not get an extensive orientation. When I became a labor and delivery nurse, a postpartum nurse, I was a new graduate. And I got, I believe, 14 or 16 weeks of training because I worked on an LDRP, and they circulated us through all of the areas that I currently have experience in. So, you know, it is a lot to go from getting a very extensive orientation to a specialty to a 3-day orientation, because that's all you get. In some places, it's 2 days. So you really have to be comfortable in your skill set, and you have to know that patient care is patient care. The policies at different hospitals are going to be different. The procedures are going to be different. The way that they do things here at A hospital and B hospital may not be the same, but how you care for a patient, if you are strong and comfortable in your skills as a nurse, those things are the same. There was never one day while I was on my assignment that I felt like I could not give my patient the care that they needed. The things were, as I talked about in an earlier video, finding supplies, figuring out the rhythm of the unit. Those things are the things that I had to get accustomed to. But as far as being a nurse, I was solid on those things. So know that patient care is patient care. If you are comfortable in your skill set and strong with your nursing skills, you'll be just fine doing the travel assignment. The third thing that I experienced is you will have a lot of days where you question, is this the right thing? Did I do the right thing? So I feel that most of the questionable moments or days where I questioned Was this the right decision? Those things come from a place of fear. Those things come from being in an environment or an element that you are not completely comfortable in, because you're the new kid on the block. And one of the nurses that I worked with on my previous assignment said that she was a travel nurse. She enjoyed being a travel nurse, but she got tired of being the new kid on the block. You have to be okay with some days you're going to feel like, I don't know if this is the right thing for me. But if you stick to the reasons why you want to pursue this opportunity, though, that is the thing that's going to carry you through your assignment. And trust and believe me, you can do anything for 13 weeks. So just know that as a travel nurse, you're going to have those ups and downs, times when you're like, I will be glad when this assignment is over. And that's another great thing about being a traveler, is that unlike when you work as a staff nurse at a facility, you know there's an end in sight. And so you can get through anything in 13 weeks. Guess what? The time is going to pass either way. All right. So the fourth thing that you should know being a travel nurse is you are a guest. Don't get it twisted. You are a guest in the facility. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm saying don't be friendly with the staff, don't make friends. Actually, I made friends with another traveler. We started on the same day. We had so much in common. We got each other through this assignment. Hey, Simone. And I don't think the experience would have been as rich without me meeting her. But you have to know you are a guest. You're an outsider. And while I feel like the majority of the staff and, everybody who I worked with, they were all fairly nice and didn't have any major issues, you're a guest. Like, they're all, she's the traveler. Oh, who is Chandra? Oh, that's the traveler. Like, they will make you feel like an outsider. So you have to have a thick skin when you go into this environment. This is not something you want to do if your feelings are hurt easily. I shared before that sometimes your assignments will be heavier. You may get assignments dumped on you. You might. It's the reality of life. We were there during nursing week, and their nurses got these cute little badges. We as in the travel nurses, we didn't get one. And I felt a way about that. Like, dang, it's nurses week. What? We don't want to celebrate nurses week? You're a guest. You just don't look forward to that stuff, because it may or may not happen depending on the facility where you are. Just know that you're a guest. Know that you are there to fill in the gap. The reason, for the most part, that hospitals hire travel nurses is because they're going through some type of crisis. Like in my case, they had a whole bunch of new staff who were on orientation, and they needed help to get through while they were getting these new employees up and running. You may be there for that reason, but no, you're only there to fill in the gap for these hospitals, because for whatever reason, they don't have adequate staffing. So while you should be comfortable going to work every day, don't get so comfortable feeling like, oh, I'm like one of the staff, because you're really not. You are a guest. You are someone who is here to help them get through a difficult period on the unit. That's the facts, Jack. So the last thing I want to talk about is not pleasant, but I would be remiss if I didn't bring it up. So, as I stated, my first travel assignment was here in my home state, and the hospital was in a relatively urban environment. I experienced subtleties of racism working on this unit. And again, it wasn't glaring things, but definitely some subtleties were there with working with some of the nurses on the unit, which I think is disappointing, because I feel like it's 2019. We all have the credentials to be here to take care of patients. The color of your skin, your ethnicity, your race should not have any bearing on the care that you're going to provide for families or for patients. But it happens. And there were, again, just really subtle things that occurred that initially I chalked it up as being the new person on the block. But the more I was immersed in the culture, it really was racism. I've never really dealt with racism, blatant racism. I know it exists, obviously, but I've never really dealt with it in the workplace. When it came to my coworkers, I've dealt with it from patients. But when it comes to the people I work with, where we have the same credentials, we have the same skill set, we are both here to do the same job, my ethnicity, my skin tone should have no bearing on the care that I'm going to give and what I bring to this situation. So, I was very disappointed in that, but I'm glad that I experienced it, because as a travel nurse, I'm sure that as I continue to navigate out in the world of travel nursing, a lot of times I may be the minority working on a unit. I have to be okay with that. And I have to be confident that, prayerfully, the people that I'm going to be working with are accepting of me, because you can't do anything to change your skin tone. You want to go into every situation with the most positive attitude about it. But so it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth when you work with people who are not accepting that this is 2019 and people are taking opportunities, i.e. becoming a nurse in the maternal child setting, people of all different races and ethnicities. Like, it's not just a chosen position for one group. That's the best way I could put it. I don't want to be offensive to anyone, because I know I have a variety of viewers, because I have talked with some of you guys. So I don't want to be offensive at all, but I am sharing my own personal experiences so that the next person just is more aware of what they may encounter out here navigating this travel nurse world. I hate that I ended on that note. I should have put that first. Anywho, so I hope that you guys have gained some insight from this video. I hope you gained some knowledge from my experiences. I am looking forward to my next travel nurse assignment. If you are a travel nurse and you have anything of value that you want to add, drop a comment below. Let me know what your first travel nurse experience was. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Thank you guys for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Let's continue to grow this Know It All Nurse network, Know It All Nurse channel. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.